the sooner that you can see those bottlenecks coming, the better you will be able to prepare for them before it's too late. In this video, we're going to get more into the context of your career and really set a path from where you are now to where you want to go from a career perspective. We're going to determine your from to. I'll give you a few examples so that you can use this to create your own. And the more descriptive you are with this, better, because that's going to really help tap into, again, those feelings and dynamics of where you want to go. And then the next step after that is to identify the obstacles so we can confront those obstacles and do something about them and accelerate your journey from where you are now to where you want to go. So here are a few examples. Maybe you are a technical expert currently and you follow directions from a team leader and you want to become that team leader. So you're a technical expert following directions, and your two is to a people leader who sets the strategy and delivers results through a team of people. This means you're going to have to learn how to manage other people, how to set strategy in a way that translates the firm or organization's goal into clear monthly, weekly, or daily deliverables for the people who you manage. The more senior you are, the better you need to get at setting clear deliverables, but on a higher level. So maybe not day to day, but say a CEO of a big company is going to be giving yearly or quarterly deliverables to their vice presidents or directors. Whereas as a team manager, you simply just need to learn the art and science of translating your deliverable to your boss into deliverables for your team members in a way that's clear, it's realistic, and it's going to help your people develop, because you're going to be able to notice what kind of tasks to give to the right people based on their talents and abilities and aspirations, capabilities, etc., and balancing out that with the team. So this is the first example of a from to, okay? Another example is from a director who delegates to a team of people to an executive who advises the president on strategic direction and steers an organization through a group of directors. So let's say, again, you're in a bigger organization and currently you're a director of a few managers who then manage people, right? So you're managing sort of projects and initiatives to managers who are then cascading those initiatives into a team of people, as we described in the previous example. And maybe your next step is to be one layer higher than a director, so closer to the president of the company and advising him or her on the overall strategic direction of where you think that company should go or grow. And then you're able to steer the organizations by giving high-level goals to a group of directors. Okay, so again, this is in the context of a very big company, and this is often where even very seasoned executives get stuck because they're in certain routines and mindsets and habits of managing a certain type of people. So as you go higher and higher in your career and you're gaining more and more influence, if that's something that aligns with your career aspirations, these are the kinds of bottlenecks that you're going to find. And the sooner that you can see those bottlenecks coming, the better you will be able to prepare for them before it's too late, before you are thrust into that role and have to learn it while on the job. You're never going to be perfect, but again, this is going to give you some context to get a sense of where it is you want to go. And then, this is the kind of skill that I need to prepare for. A third example, from a president of an established company with scale and resources to the founder of a startup with limited budgets and no customer base. So this is something that I've very often seen of executives who make it up to the C-suite as a CEO or a COO. So they've made it. They're the top of the organization. They're the ones making all the decisions or where the biggest problems and escalate to, and they have the authority to make those decisions and spend those budgets, etc. But doing that role in a big organization where you have so many resources around you, someone to do your expenses at the end of the month, or fix the IT system, or someone to create your press releases and tweak those with the right nuances so that when it's time for you to show up in front of a media room full of press, all you got to do is read from this piece of paper and then, get on with the rest of your night and go to dinner with customers in your Mercedes-Benz chauffeured car. That's the life of a big company CEO. But then, CEOs sometimes get bored or want to get more hands-on with their aspirations and ultimate, what they want to do after corporate life. And they want to go into a startup and start up their own business. But what they realize when they go into a startup is that they don't have the capacity or the tools or the processes to be able to do the things they used to be able to do in a big company. You got to find someone to outsource your expenses to. You got to understand what is expensible and what's not expensible. You've got to be able to attract people into your team without having the human resources department and the talent acquisition department. You've got to be able to understand what's legal and what's not legal in terms of how you operate and how you communicate with customers. In a big organization, all these things are handed to a CEO on a silver platter. They're very refined, standard operating procedures, and the CEO's job is to be able to align the board of directors and the chairman of the board's direction and expectations of investors and so on into deliverables in a way that is conducive and harmonious with the culture of the organization. So delivering financial performance with cultural and organizational development. But doing that at a big scale where you have all these resources around you can be very luxurious, even though that the job itself can also be quite stressful. But going into a startup where you don't have all these resources around you, it's a completely different ballgame. So to do that, you're going to need to understand what those gaps are, what resources you need, what to outsource, what to have in-house, what you can do if you can attract people with the right capabilities to fill in those gaps. And often startups are very, very simple business models as well. So overcomplicating a business model can be something in itself that prevents a CEO from being once successful in a large organization to then even being able to create a product with a sales page in a startup. Ego can often get in the way and make the difference between success and failure, and ultimately really cap someone's long-term potential. So wherever you are in your career right now, define where you are, you're from, your current title and sort of a 1 or 2 sentence description of what you're doing right now and where it is you want to go. And that may or may not be your next step, but whatever it is, write it down. And then you'll be able to get a better sense of what the obstacles are for you to get there, the kinds of skills or resources that you need or experiences that you need to gain in order to take a step forward, whether that's going to be 1 or 2 steps to that next goal, or whether that's going to be something that you can do immediately with a few conversations or with the resources that you have right now. So below is a resource with these examples. Take one of these that relates to you and make your own version of it. And I'll see you in the next video.